emergency prophetic dream. The person in your photos isn't who they appear to be. Archangel Michael showed me why. The hour was marked 3:03 a.m. when the veil between realms thinned and the spirit interrupted sleep with a piercing vision. This was not a dream of the mind. This was a divine unveiling. I, Michael, Archangel of the Most High, was dispatched with urgency, holding in my right hand a mirror of reflection, and in my left a flame of purification. The mirror does not lie, and the fire does not flatter. I was sent to awaken the ones who have been blind to what stands directly in front of them. In the vision, you were shown the photograph, the one you hold with love or perhaps regret. The smile, the gaze, the warmth of the moment, all of it captured in stillness. But I said, look again. For what you thought was captured in innocence now holds a spiritual distortion. The image is wrapped in memory, but the truth hides beneath the surface. There is a presence embedded in that picture, one that wears familiarity like a disguise. This person, this face, this energy, they are not who they appear to be. The Spirit does not speak this word to all. No, this message is coded for the sensitive, the spiritually awakened, the ones whom heaven has marked for deeper sight. If you are hearing this, it is not by accident. You are being summoned into divine clarity. You were not chosen for comfort, you were chosen for discernment. What you once accepted must now be examined. What you once trusted must now be weighed in the Spirit. Silence is your strength in this season. Discernment is your defense. You are walking into a spiritual court, and heaven is preparing your eyes to see what others have missed. This is not paranoia. This is prophetic perception. The deception is subtle, spiritual, and dangerous. And you were awakened at this precise hour because heaven has deemed you ready. Type I am anointed in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. Archangel Michael speaks now through this divine alarm. I, Michael, mighty warrior of the Lord, sound the trumpet of awakening over your life. I speak not from the realm of time, but from the realm of eternity. And the message is clear. You have entered a spiritual investigation, and heaven has brought your attention to a disguised threat cloaked in familiarity. You have seen the face. You have taken the photo. But what you see is not what is. This is not paranoia. This is a divine alert. For the next 72 hours, your spirit will become a receiver of revelation. You will see strange signs. You will feel the stirring. You will hear words that were once muted in the static. Pay attention. Not with your natural eyes. Not with the ears of your flesh. But with your spirit, sharpened like a sword. I come not to comfort you. I come to prepare you. The one who sits on the throne has seen the manipulation wrapped in charm. He has heard the prayers you forgot you prayed. And heaven has answered, not with blessings first, but with truth. Because before protection comes clarity, and before elevation comes exposure. The person in your life, the one who lingers in your memories, in your conversations, in your social media, they wear another face in the spirit. You felt it, haven't you? The unease you brushed off. The energetic weight after conversations. The way your peace felt violated after simply being around them. And now, heaven confirms it. It was never just you. It was never just imagination. It was spiritual intelligence knocking at your door. Heaven interrupted my rest because your soul is under surveillance. Someone has studied your emotions. They have memorized your joy. They have rehearsed your downfall. They have smiled, but with teeth behind their tongue. And heaven says, enough. The exposure begins now. This is your warning, your invitation, and your weapon. The message is coded, encrypted for the awakened. It will bypass the mind of the carnal and land only in the heart of the elect. If your heart begins to race, if your stomach turns, if your spirit leaks while listening, this word is absolutely for you. You are being pulled into a holy investigation, and your first assignment is silence and observation. You must not react, you must perceive. They are watching to see if you notice. But you, child of God, are being trained to see without speaking. Do not expose your revelation. Hold your peace as your strategy. The mirror I hold is now before you, not to flatter your eyes, but to reflect what is hidden behind theirs. The flame I carry will not burn your body, but will purify your spirit. It will reveal false covenants, unauthorized attachments, and counterfeit affections. You were awakened at 3:03 a.m. because that is the hour of divine unveiling. A heaven-ordained shepherd, a thinning between dimensions, a moment where angels walk rooms and deliver truth to those who have ears to hear. Child of God, the enemy's greatest tactic has always been disguise, and his most effective disguise is always a familiar face. Eve didn't eat the fruit from a stranger. She listened to a voice that seemed wise. Judas didn't approach with a sword. He came with a kiss. I say to you now, the photo you cherish is not harmless. It carries a frequency, a hidden signature of the spirit behind the eyes. What you called memory, heaven calls a warning. What you framed and favored, God now instructs you to re-examine. Look again. Do not fear. I am with you. You are not being paranoid, you are being prepared. This is not spiritual warfare you enter. This is spiritual warfare you've already been in. The only difference now is that heaven has handed you the lens of discernment. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And once you know, you are accountable. You must not look to man for confirmation. You were chosen to receive what others overlook. You were selected to walk the narrow path of revelation. And yes, sometimes that means isolation. Sometimes that means holding truth in silence while others clap for the mask. But be not discouraged, for what is hidden now will soon be seen by all. Heaven trusts you. That is why this message came to you, and not them. You are not losing your mind. You are gaining your sight. So I say again, open your eyes in the Spirit. Look again. The truth hides in plain sight. But now, so do you. You are hidden in the shadow of the Almighty. Heaven. What? Guarded. You are not alone. You are not forsaken. You are not deceived. Not anymore. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. Your laughter still rings in your ears, doesn't it? That familiar tone. That effortless charm. That way they captured moments with you like they were building memories, when all along they were mapping your vulnerability. That smile in your photos. It wasn't warmth. It was a mask. And heaven says now, the mask is cracking. The illusion is dissolving. The spirit behind the face is being exposed. You felt it. Deep down. The emotional inconsistencies. The moments where they knew too much, remembered too well, reacted too quickly. That unease in your spirit. That wasn't drama. That was discernment. The Holy Spirit has been whispering, quietly pointing, steadily nudging. But your loyalty, your kindness, your hope, they kept overriding the warning signs. You kept giving the benefit of the doubt until now. This emotional disruption you're feeling is not random. It's sacred intel. It's your spirit rejecting what your soul once welcomed. It's divine interference. God is breaking the emotional agreement you made with a false image. Heaven is pulling back the curtain to reveal the war beneath, the smile. There's a reason your body tenses when they are near. There's a reason your spirit feels drained after your conversations. They are not just a person. They are a portal. A gateway the enemy is using to reach your confidence, your clarity, your anointing. And the photos, the videos, the memories, they are not harmless archives. They are anchors if you let them remain unchecked. Some of you are being spiritually monitored through these images. Some of you have been experiencing strange dreams, confusion, emotional mood swings. And it's because the photo isn't just a photo. It's a doorway, a link, a bond, and the spirit behind it is still attempting to access your energy. You are not crazy. You are awakening. You are remembering moments that didn't make sense back then. The glance they gave when you succeeded, the silence when you were suffering, the questions they asked that were just a little too invasive. They have studied you, not to protect you, but to predict you. They've learned your patterns. They've mimicked your language. And now, heaven has thrown down the veil. This emotional disturbance is not a breakdown. It is a breakthrough. It is divine agitation, shaking you out of your agreement with deception. It's heaven saying, no more pretending. No more second chances. No more spiritual open doors. The lie was never in the words, it was in the atmosphere. They watched you like a mirror, copying your light, wearing your tone, borrowing your strength. But you began to notice the shift in tone, the passive-aggressive messages, the eerie timing of certain events. And now you're standing at a divine crossroad. See clearly, or suffer spiritually. Your spirit has known longer than your mind. And now, Archangel Michael declares, the lie is in the image, but the truth lives in the shadow. You were never called to worry of memories. You were called to walk in revelation. This moment is sacred. This realization is a form of warfare. Your awakening is a threat to what was hidden. And your emotions, your tears, your tension, your confusion, are evidence that heaven is restructuring your emotional alliances. You're not unstable. You're being re-anchored. Every counterfeit must go. Every false covenant must break. And though it may sting now, though it may shake your foundation, know this. You are being pulled from the trap before it closes. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel for more exclusive prophetic insight, updates, and guidance on navigating these spiritual dimensions. Don't miss what heaven is revealing. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1818 is now activated. This isn't just betrayal. This isn't just emotional damage. This is spiritual warfare in disguise. Your pain isn't random. Your tension isn't circumstantial. Your discernment isn't exaggeration. You are in a war, but not with flesh and blood. You are wrestling against spiritual wickedness in places that once felt safe. The betrayal you feel, it's not because of who they are, it's because of who you are becoming. Your light exposed their darkness. Your elevation triggered their inner turmoil. The moment you began stepping into your calling, the enemy sought proximity through someone familiar. They didn't attack with open force. They entered through access, through trust, through what you never questioned. And now, What you thought was a friendship, what you thought was connection, has become the battlefield for your destiny. This is why the Spirit whispers, be sober. Be vigilant. You must realize that your destiny provokes attacks, not from strangers, but from those already in your circle. The enemy does not waste his strongest weapons on distant enemies. He infiltrates through the familiar, through the person who knows your past, your secrets, your triggers. He mimics light. He cloaks himself in loyalty. And when your spirit begins to elevate, he activates betrayal. You have wondered why it hurt so deeply, why it disoriented you, why it seemed personal. Because it was an assignment, a spiritual hit job, not just on your emotions, but on your clarity. They were sent to sabotage your discernment. And the worst part, they didn't even know they were being used. That's why God had to allow it. Yes, hear this clearly. God allowed the conflict. God permitted the exposure. God orchestrated the disruption. Not because he was punishing you, but because he was preparing you. Every spiritual warrior must learn this lesson, that not all battles look like battles, and not all enemies wear horns. Some enemies arrive with gifts. Some enemies post supportive comments. Some enemies hug you while praying against you in secret. But you are being trained. You are being refined. You are being equipped with eagle vision, the kind of vision that doesn't just see behavior, it discerns intent. This moment is your training ground. God is sharpening your senses. He is building your resistance. He is protecting your path by removing the wrong people and revealing the spiritual cause behind their presence. You thought it was heartbreak, but it was holy separation. You thought it was rejection, but it was divine protection. You thought it was betrayal, but it was a prophetic redirection. And now, the enemy is frustrated, because what was supposed to make you bitter is making you bolder. What was meant to destroy your trust is now forging divine discernment. And what the enemy hoped would delay you is now accelerating your maturity. Let them go. Let the photos fade. Let the memories rot in the soil of their own deception. Because what God is about to birth through your obedience is greater than the pain of their betrayal. You are not just recovering. You are rising. You've seen the shadow. You felt the distortion. And now, you walk in divine clarity. No longer reactive, no longer desperate for closure. You walk with purpose. You walk with holy suspicion. You walk with a shield of wisdom and a sword of silence. God allowed this, not to punish you, but to prove you. And now Michael declares, you are spiritually upgraded. You are not just aware, you are activated. You are not just wounded, you are weaponized. Type I am discerning in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2323 is now encircling your atmosphere. They are about to reveal more than they ever intended. Without realizing it, their hand is slipping, and their heart is speaking louder than their mouth. The spirit behind them, the one that's been hiding behind the polished exterior, behind the smiles and rehearsed concern, is about to break formation. The time for pretending is closing. The mask will malfunction, and when it does, it won't be in secret. It will be in front of witnesses, in front of others, in the presence of those who were once blind, but are now being stirred to attention. Mark this. Within 72 hours, you will see something. You will overhear a phrase. A status will go up. A comment will slip out. A message will arrive, perhaps accidental, perhaps too perfectly timed. But heaven says, do not react in the flesh. Do not rush to respond. Do not retaliate. The Spirit says this exposure is not for vengeance, it is for clarity. And clarity is not just a luxury. Clarity is your protection. They have overplayed their hand. The enemy operating through them has miscalculated your level of awakening. What they thought you wouldn't notice, what they assumed would go unnoticed, is now becoming the very evidence that God is using to confirm your discernment. They are being compelled to reveal themselves. Their tone is changing. Their energy is different. And they can't hold the facade much longer. You will be tempted to confront. You will feel that burning sensation in your chest, the fire of justice rising up. But hear this, child of light. Heaven is watching how you handle this exposure. This isn't just a social moment. This is a spiritual surveillance. You are not just being tested for reaction. You are being assessed for promotion. The way you respond determines the axis you walk into next. There are conversations happening about you behind closed doors. Some of them were planted to provoke you. Some were sent to gather intel, to see if you're still emotionally attached, to see if you're still accessible. But heaven says, silence is your sword. Stillness is your weapon. Obedience is your covering. You are being watched, not just by people, but by principalities who desire to see if you still operate from your wound or from your wisdom. This is not paranoia. This is a holy heads-up. Archangel Michael declares, this confrontation has already begun, not on earth, but in the Spirit. The battle was waged before the first word was spoken. The conflict was stirred in the heavens before it showed up on your phone. That strange pressure in your chest, that heaviness behind your eyes, that urgency to withdraw, that was your spirit picking up divine frequencies. It was never random. Now, the next move is theirs, but the next response is yours. What to? Don't chase clarity. Don't dig for more evidence. You've already been shown. What comes now is heaven's orchestration. They will make a move, but you will make a decision. And your silence will thunder louder than any accusation. This is not the moment to react. It is the moment to rise in restraint. Let God's timing expose what your spirit already discerned. You don't need to unmask them. They will unravel themselves. Type "I am watching" in the Spirit in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3030 is now activated around you. Withdraw. Not out of fear, but out of strategy. Withdraw not as a victim, but as a seer who understands the value of silence. Silence is not weakness. It is spiritual warfare. Your absence will confuse every monitoring spirit attached to your presence. Your silence will shake the demonic frequencies that once fed off your emotional reaction. You are not escaping. You are executing a divine retreat into the secret place of the Most High. The Spirit is saying clearly now, stillness is your strategy. Do not move from this place until you are led by clarity, not curiosity. Fast, not just from food but from emotional outbursts. Fast from people who demand explanations when God is calling you into secrecy. Fast from reacting to the spiritual bait they throw your way. They want you to respond in the flesh, but heaven calls you to remain in the Spirit. Speak over yourself what heaven has already declared. I am hidden in God. Not seen, not predictable, not accessible to the hands of those who seek to drain you. Let your spiritual signature disappear from the radar of the enemy. You are shifting dimensions. You are stepping under divine camouflage. Let Archangel Michael war on your behalf. This battle is not yours, it is the Lord's. Every word you wanted to say, hold it. Every explanation you rehearsed in your mind, bury it. They are not entitled to your vulnerability. You are not required to explain your withdrawal, because heaven has seen their intentions, even if you haven't. God has chosen silence as your shield. You must honor that instruction. You are being repositioned in the spirit realm. Your name is being whispered in angelic councils. The decisions you make in this silence are writing new laws over your life. You are not just avoiding conflict. You are stepping into divine reformation. Do not chase answers. They will arrive. Do not seek validation. It will be unnecessary when God vindicates you. Do not demand justice. Justice has already been scheduled. What is hidden now will not remain hidden forever. But for now, your obedience is your fortress. Your quietness is your covering. Your withdrawal is your weapon. And hear this with full clarity. The enemy is watching you, hoping you break protocol, hoping you expose yourself, hoping you send that text, hoping you post that comment, hoping you reveal how much you know. But your silence is a snare to the enemy's trap. Do not break it. Let the confusion of your stillness scatter every monitoring spirit. Let the mystery of your peace silence their plotting. Let the gentleness of your withdrawal thunder louder than any accusation. Heaven is aligning you for the next phase, and that phase requires a posture of total spiritual protection. In this season, say little, move slowly, pray consistently. Let your words be few, and your discernment be sharp. You are protected. You are guided. You are hidden. Speak this aloud as a daily decree. Though thousands fall beside me, I shall not be moved. I am hidden in God. I am covered by angels. I am unavailable for spiritual manipulation. You are not going backward. You are not defeated. You are not confused. You are simply in stealth mode, divinely instructed to observe, to listen, and to wait. And while you wait, heaven wars for you. Type "I am hidden" in the comments if this word covers you. Lesson code 4044 is now shielding your path. You are no longer naive. You are no longer easily swayed. You are no longer that version of you who sought answers from people who carried daggers in their mouths. Heaven declares today, you have ascended. You are now anointed. You have crossed over from innocence into insight. What once confused you now compels you. What once wounded you now awakens you. The version of you that once clung to memories, explanations, and apologies is dead. That version hath been buried in the soil of discernment. A new you has risen, strong, silent, sovereign in spirit. You have shed the skin of people-pleasing. You no longer chase validation. You no longer hand out access like candy to souls that come with hidden contracts. You have evolved, not just emotionally, but spiritually. Archangel Michael says, you have been upgraded to eagle status. You now fly at altitudes where confusion cannot breathe. Your vision has sharpened. You no longer see just actions. You see the spirit behind the actions. You no longer see smiles, you see assignments. You no longer hear words, you hear spiritual signatures. Let me tell you why they're uncomfortable around you now. Because you no longer orbit their manipulation. Your silence is not confusion. It is spiritual strategy. You are no longer easy to bait, easy to distract, or easy to draw back into cycles. You've risen, and they cannot reach what has been spiritually elevated. You're walking like royalty now, and royalty doesn't argue with peasants trying to provoke reaction. Heaven honors your restraint as kingdom behavior. You are carrying a crown now, and crowns are not meant to be thrown at those who don't understand their weight. This is why they're frustrated. This is why the atmosphere shifts when you enter the room. Because your very presence exposes what they've been trying to hide, You are now a spiritual mirror, and mirrors terrify those who rely on deception. What you survived was not meant to just hurt you. It was meant to forge you. The betrayal wasn't the end. It was the activation of your authority. Your silence. It was your war cry in the spirit. Your restraint. That was your loudest victory. Every moment you chose not to respond, not to retaliate, not to explain, you were building divine credit in the courts of heaven. You are spiritually untouchable now. Not because of arrogance, but because of alignment. You no longer live to be liked. You live to be led by the Spirit. You're not led by emotions. You're not pulled by pity. You are led by purpose. And that purpose is now so potent that anything not aligned with it is being automatically removed. The spiritual warfare you endured was never about that one person. It was about the gate you're now walking through. The enemy wasn't fighting your past. He was fighting your potential. But you made it through. And now, the Spirit of the Lord says, your anointing has matured. What you that are in view you now bows to you. You are rising, not emotionally, but spiritually. You are now unrecognizable to the spirits that once manipulated you. The language of desperation has left your tongue. The posture of chasing has left your body. You are no longer seeking closure from those who were assigned to be temporary. You are now anchored in divine confidence. The warfare gave you wounds, but the wounds gave you wisdom. You've ascended, and not everyone was meant to come with you. Type I am anointed in the comments if this word confirms your journey. Blessing code 5151 is now opening new gates over your life. This was never just an attack. This was an activation. The dream, the awakening, the image in your hands. It wasn't just warning. It was revelation in disguise. That foe, that memory, that person you kept excusing. They were a test in human form. A living riddle that heaven placed in your life to unlock something deep inside you. And now that the test has been passed, the revelation is being released. Archangel Michael stood beside me in the dream with a flame and a mirror. He did not speak immediately. He waited. And then he said only 3 words that shook the spirit realm. This is it. The image you once admired, the one you emotionally clung to, was revealed to be a spiritual decoy. Not just a person, but a lesson wrapped in flesh. This entire scenario was your proving ground. Heaven watched how you would respond. Would you keep ignoring your intuition? Would you continue entertaining spiritual distractions? Or would you wake up? You did. You are awake now. You passed. And now the prophetic reward is being poured out. Because you listened to the whisper instead of the scream, because you discerned the energy behind the words, because you trusted the tension and obeyed the silence, heaven now releases you into prophetic clarity. From this moment forward, your decisions will not be emotional. They will be prophetically informed. You are no longer navigating from memory. You are now operating from mandate. You are no longer influenced by nostalgia. You are now led by knowing. You were blind, but now you see. And what you see will not deceive you again. This person in your photo was never meant to remain in your future. They were a portal for purification. They were a trigger for transformation. Their betrayal became the spark that activated your inner fire. And that fire is now burning through every remaining veil of deception. You are walking in truth fire now. And that truth is consuming every false connection that tried to anchor you to an old season. Michael said, "This fire will not burn you. It will burn the illusion." This revelation is not just information. It's an impartation. From this day, your spiritual radar has been upgraded. What you used to tolerate will now irritate your spirit. What you used to miss will now be immediately sensed. What you once allowed in your space will now be repelled by the frequency of your calling. You are now a gatekeeper of your own energy. You are now a guardian of your divine assignment. You are now a steward of prophetic revelation. And heaven says, because you passed the test, promotion is your portion. The realm of clarity has been unlocked. The spirit of confusion has been evicted. The fog has lifted. The spell has broken. And now you walk in light. If this message is awakening you, consider giving a super thanks. Even a $10 contribution helps us continue delivering urgent prophetic insight like this. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more direct prophetic downloads, spiritual tools, and revelations that speak to exactly where you are. You passed the test. You heard heaven. You saw what others didn't. Type I see clearly now in the comments if this revelation was for you. Blessing code 7272 is now opened over your destiny. Now comes the moment of spiritual alignment, the bridge between revelation and activation. You've seen the truth. You felt the disruption. You've stood in silence while heaven whispered clarity into your spirit. But this journey was never just about seeing. It was about choosing. You must now choose obedience. You must now activate your destiny. Because clarity without action is just disobedience in disguise. The time to hesitate is over. The hour to delay is gone. Heaven is awaiting your agreement. You must open your mouth and speak what breaks the chain. Declare now, even if your voice shakes, I break agreement with deception. Say it until your atmosphere shifts. Say it until every counterfeit connection is silenced. Say it until your heart finally aligns with the will of God. Your destiny is not something to stumble into. It is something to say yes to. You stood at the edge long enough. You've carried too many maybes. You've asked for too many confirmations. Now, faith is required. Not feelings. Not comfort. Not popularity. Faith. The heavens are watching. The angels are waiting. The Spirit is ready. But they will not override your will. They will not drag you into obedience. You must walk yourself into alignment. Say it boldly, my destiny shall not be delayed. You are not waiting on God. God is waiting on you. Waiting for you to finally let go of what's broken. Waiting for you to stop praying over what He's already rejected. Waiting for you to sever ties with what has no authority in your next season. Now hear this, and receive it deeply. Heaven is already in motion. Doors are already swinging open. The atmosphere around your life is already rearranging. But what enters next is determined by what you deny now. If you do not break the ties, the transition cannot complete. And it's not because God won't bless you. It's because God is protecting you from dragging deception into your divine next. This is your Jordan moment. This is where you decide whether you go back to Egypt or cross into the promise. The wilderness ends here, but it ends not with emotion. It ends with a decision. You must activate your future with action. Small or big, but action. Take one aligned step today. Cancel the text you were about to send. Remove the photo from the frame. Burn the letter. Delete the message. Stop rehearsing the betrayal. Stop playing the memory in your mind. Close the portal. You're not preserving a moment. You're prolonging a delay. The enemy's only strategy left is to keep you emotionally tethered to someone God has already spiritually removed. But today you cut the cord. Today you make the break. Today you walk into the territory of divine acceleration. Because heaven has already assigned angels to your decision-making. Michael himself has dispatched watchers to guard the steps you take after this very word. You are not doing this alone. You are not stepping into uncertainty. You are stepping into fulfillment. Every choice you make now is riding prophecy into motion. Every yes to obedience becomes a yes to legacy. Every no to confusion becomes a yes to clarity. You are constructing your future with every act of surrender. There will be moments when fear tries to come, when doubt tries to linger, but the same voice that revealed the deception will also walk with you through the transition. You are surrounded. You are protected. You are not being emptied. You are being positioned. Say it now. I will not miss my moment. Say it as war. Say it as promise. Say it as prophecy. This is not just your healing season. It is your launching season. Rise accordingly. Type I am activated in the comments if you receive this. Blessing code 8888 is now triggering divine movement on your behalf. There are some things that happen only in silence. Not everything God does makes noise. Some victories are silent. Some miracles come in stillness. Some exchanges take place when your eyes are closed and your spirit is open. While you slept, while you wept, while you fasted in silence, heaven was at work. This is what many cannot understand, that there was a silent trade in the spirit on your behalf. What the enemy meant to steal, God recovered. What was broken in the natural was restored in the spiritual. And while the person in the photo kept smiling, while others dismissed your tears, while no one saw the war you endured, angels were moving. There was a silent exchange. Heaven took what they used for manipulation and gave you divine discernment in return. Heaven collected every word cursed over you and returned them to sender, encoded in spiritual law. Heaven took the heartbreak and returned healing. Heaven took the betrayal and returned boldness. You gave good your pain, and good give you poverty. You did not lose. You were not wronged. You were not abandoned. You were divinely traded. And yes, you may still feel tired. You may feel drained. That's not weakness. That's warfare aftermath. That's the residue of a spiritual battle that heaven fought on your behalf. The fatigue you feel, it's not defeat. It's a sign that something has shifted, that the demons once attached to you can no longer find access, that the surveillance has stopped, that the torment has been interrupted. Michael says, you didn't even realize it, but while you rested, the courtrooms of heaven ruled in your favor. The verdict was rendered. The files were opened. The accusations of hell were overturned, and the very weapons formed against you were returned to the forger. This is the divine reversal that operates in silence. And now, your spirit hath been promoted, not because of public acts, but because of private obedience. What man overlooked, heaven honored. What man mocked, heaven magnified. You have entered a new season where even your stillness has power. Your silence carries authority. You no longer need to prove, argue, or explain. Your spiritual signature has changed. You are no longer recognized by the spirit of deception. You've become invisible to hell's radar. Let that settle into your bones. You have entered a dimension where silence speaks louder than words. This is not a retreat. This is a repositioning. You were never exiled. You were hidden. Hidden for power. Hidden for peace. Hidden for purpose. And while others thought you were stuck, heaven was busy writing your next chapter in invisible ink. And now, the new has come. You will feel it first in the atmosphere. A shift, a release, a lift. Conversations will feel different. Your spirit will no longer tolerate what it once endured. You'll sense when to walk away before anything is said. You'll feel what's wrong before it can speak. You'll discern motives like reading text. This is your spiritual compensation. They took your time. God gave you timing. They took your energy. God gave you insight. They took your trust. God gave you discernment. And now, heaven restores. So be still. Not because you are defeated, but because your stillness is evidence that heaven already moved on your behalf. Type "heaven moved for me" in the comments if you feel the silent exchange. Blessing code 9990 has now covered your next 90 days with divine protection and turnaround. Justice does not always come with fire from the sky. Sometimes justice comes in silence. Sometimes it arrives in the absence of noise, in the gentle shifting of seasons, in the way favor begins to find you again, and doors begin to open that no man can shut. Sometimes justice comes not as thunder, but as divine reversal. And I, Michael, messenger and sword of heaven, declare this over your life now. The verdict has been sealed. Heaven has ruled in your favor. You shall rise. Let it be known across the spirit realm, the alarms that were set off by their betrayal reached the throne room. What they did in the dark was not ignored. What they whispered behind your name was not erased. What they plotted in shadows did not pass unnoticed. Every word, every curse, every manipulative smile, it all echoed in the ears of the righteous judge. And now, judgment had been rendered, and divine reversal is being initiated. This is not karma. This is not coincidence. This is justice from the throne of heaven, not as payback, but as positioning. For every tear you cried in silence, a harvest is coming in public. For every door they shut behind your back, a new gate is opening by divine hand. They thought they could delay you. They thought your silence was weakness. They mistook your stillness for submission. But now, heaven has made its move. And the move is permanent. Your words are returning to their own atmosphere. Their jealousy is choking their own momentum. Their intentions are folding under the weight of God's correction. You do not have to explain. You do not have to defend. You do not even need to celebrate. Because the scale has tipped. Heaven is balancing what man corrupted. And the Spirit of the Lord says, I will repay. I will restore. I will reverse. You will begin to notice things shifting quickly now. Unexpected favor. Timely support. Vindication in conversations you're not even present for. Those who once believed the lie will begin to see the truth. Those who distanced themselves will begin to return. But hear this, not all will be allowed back. Because some people were not just part of your pain, they were active participants in your delay. And God will not allow the next chapter of your destiny to be corrupted by those who sowed discord into your last one. You've been promoted in silence. You've been strengthened through betrayal. You've been purified in fire. And now, you rise in grace. No stain, no bitterness, and no retaliation. Only favor, only glory, only justice. This is your Esther moment, your Joseph moment. The moment where what was meant for evil becomes the very thing that pushes you into power. They tried to bury your voice, but your voice now has resonance in heaven. They tried to trap your heart, but your heart has been released into divine boldness. They didn't know they were being used to push you into destiny. But now it is too late. The process has completed. The heavens have shifted. The story has turned. Let it be settled in your spirit. God does not sleep. God does not forget. And when God moves for justice, He does it with precision, mercy, and unshakable authority. You have been publicly misjudged, but you are about to be publicly honored. They will watch as God lifts you. They will witness the reversal. And they will know it was never your hand that fought back. It was the hand of heaven. If this message has been a confirmation and strength to you, we humbly invite you to support this channel with a super thanks. Even $5 or $10 goes a long way in helping us continue creating and delivering powerful prophetic content. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. And don't forget to subscribe for ongoing prophetic insights, revelations, and divine encouragements uniquely tailored for your spiritual growth and discernment. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments if this message settled your spirit. Blessing code 6464 is now reversing what the enemy planted in secret. This is not your end. This is not the final scene. This is not the conclusion of your purpose. It is the graduation of your discernment. Heaven applauds not because you were perfect, but because you remained faithful. Archangel Michael declares now over you, you are sealed. You are seen. You are spiritually elevated. What you went through did not weaken you, it qualified you. Let this final word enter your bones. You are not cursed. You are chosen. You are not forgotten. You are hidden. You are not behind. You are being prepared. The delays you've seen were divine protection. The people who left were spiritual subtractions. The tears you wept were prayers you didn't know how to pray. And the photos, the faces, the memories, they were not monuments, they were mirrors, revealing what needed to be purged from your next dimension. You now walk with a different gait. You now move with spiritual royalty. You are not begging God to use you. God has already begun. The moment you said yes to stillness, the moment you chose obedience over explanation, the moment you surrendered the image, the idol, the counterfeit, you graduated. Heaven throws a robe over your shoulders now. A fresh mantle. An invisible marking that says, this one has passed the test. The test of silence. The test of restraint. The test of hidden warfare. You did not fail. You did not fold. You did not return to the trap. And because of that, you now walk in full divine authority. Let no shadow from the past disturb your path forward. Let no voice from old seasons interrupt your new melody. The chapter is closed. The test is passed. The elevation is beginning. Every step forward from this moment is blessed, directed, and backed by heaven. And the next time you look at that photo, you will not feel pain. You will feel gratitude. Gratitude for the process. Gratitude for the exposure. Gratitude for the awakening. You are the one who sees now. You are the one who knows now. You are the one heaven can trust now. And as this message closes, so does that cycle. Let this blessing be upon you. May Archangel Michael stand before you with flaming sword and mirror of truth. May he guard your clarity. May he silence your enemies. May he make straight the path of your calling. Declare this now. I am chosen. I am covered. I am called. I do not go back. I do not explain what God has ended. I do not grieve what heaven has removed. I walk forward, anointed, covered, lined. Go, not in fear, not in anxiety, not in confusion. Go in full divine authority. Your steps are ordained. Your voice is being restored. Your vision is now clear. And your spirit is now marked. Type "I am chosen, covered, and called" in the comments to seal this word. Blessing code 3131 is now governing your walk.